Apple TV's Murderbot, Season 1, Episode 7. We just watched it.
We haven't even been able to put the
Thoughts?
takes in the oven. These are unleavened takes, if you will.
A few mistakes from last week. I didn't remember him coming onto the ship and telling Libibi to put the gun down before shooting it off.
We still didn't see him, right? We heard him, and then
I think you watch him walk on the ship. Libibi freaks out and holds the gun, and then we hear him say, "Put the gun down," and then head gone. Still, just as shocking and still just as amazing, and the crew obviously freaks out.
I'm not going to apologize if that's what you're here to do.
No, we start the episode, this episode 7, in the past. They're at a restaurant in the free cities, the free area, the
Getting ready to launch for this very expedition that they're on.
And it does seem like, maybe they're just in a nice restaurant, but it does seem like the place they're from is very nice.
Yeah, it did look nice.
That's the first thing I noticed. Is I was kind of expecting
you would eat there, yeah. They didn't show you the food.
Yeah, I was expecting this crew of them, this Freedom Society Alliance, to be a less well-ran situation. But it seems like the planet they're from, or the solar galaxy or system that they're from the one restaurant that I am judging it by now, was a nice place.
Yeah, we learned a little bit of backstory.
This was definitely a Garathan episode.
We learned that David Dashhound, a.k.a. Future M. Bison, was at the end of his proverbial rope.
He was
until the captain
corpse
came in and saved him. We also found out that David D. doesn't believe in the mission, thinks that it is not a good idea to have gone out and done this.
Thinks they are being naive. But he still goes.
He still goes. And then we blast into the presence where Murderbot is watching. He sees that a chopper is inbound,
He's making
full
him pack up.
of
Says,
hostiles.
"We gotta get out of here."
There's certainly a level of distrust from David D. that has carried on. A shot to the thigh has not lessened that. No,
the shot from Libibi.
From Libibi, yeah, correct.
He's still not sure that our SecBot isn't working for whoever's behind all this. Which I think by the end of the episode that gets cleared up. But we'll get to that in a second. Yes, Garathan is injured. He spent some time in the med bay, but it's clear he needs to spend more time in the med bay. He's hobbling around a little bit. The sec unit at one point tells him his temperature is rising. So he obviously is not doing very well health-wise. The other crew members are very reticent of SecBot. Our comic relief male character, third wheel to the trifecta relationship, keeps trying to make friends with SecBot. And SecBot keeps saying awful things. Or untimely things.
Untimely things, yeah. Without the gift of a natural empathy, perhaps. But he gets them all in the...
One of them, of course, being that if I did want to kill you all, or if I had wanted to shoot Garathan, I would have shot him.
Yeah.
And he'd be dead, as would all of you. Which was maybe not the right thing to say, and luckily he doesn't pass that on to the rest of the crew members.
But, I mean, that's how you and I met, and we've been friends...
Ever since.
For years.
Ever since I shot that woman's head off.
So you get in the hopper, they fly to parts unknown, set up a perimeter. Certainly distrust being a theme of the episode. They're wondering exactly, can we trust this guy? And, I was thinking about, I swear I was thinking about this before this happened. I was thinking about, this is really not that horny of a show. They've really gone to a lot of great lengths
Libibi was the horniest episode. Libibi was probably the horniest character, but they did There was the threesome. But you're right, it's not as HBO horny. It's more Apple horny.
Well, they've gone to great lengths to really desexualize the characters with their clothing, with their appearance. Most of the women have very short hair. The men tend to have something that would generally be described as effeminate. David Dashhound has painted his fingernails, for example.
Okay.
And then what we see is two bugs. So I'm thinking about how not horned up this is.
Before you get to the bug fucking.
And we have to discuss it.
Yes, we will discuss it. You notice that the sec unit is starting to have issues with his danger assessment.
Risk assessment.
Threat assessment.
Yeah.
He says it's not working very well. The chip he has is kind of garbage, and it's flickering all over the place. But he can tell that something is approaching. Before something approaches, the entire group has to go outside, and they really want to know the sec unit. They want to have a discussion. They want to have a heart-to-heart. They try and circle up, and they're like, sec unit, we're going to talk about this. Please take down your mask. That doesn't go well at first. Eventually, our doctor, our leader, convinces him to take his mask down by calling him a human being.
Does his mask look like the Criterion Collection logo?
Similar. It does.
That was another thought I had. I'm full of thoughts.
He wanders off before this at some point and starts considering maybe he just watches TV until he disappears, until his battery runs out. But I think he probably would have chosen that option, but it sounds like he didn't download enough content, which it's understandable. It's understandable.
What do you think his hard drive is? How many hours of content do you think you could fit in that little Murderbot suit?
Do you think he has a biological brain? Because like the biological capacity of our brains like really exceeds what's like normal storage.
And is he zipping the files? Is he compressing them in some way?
Using the WinRARs?
Yeah.
Probably, I'd assume so. Until he's ready to use them. Does he have fast access RAM and then some SD hard drives for quick access and then some spinny hard drives just to get all like the big data saved?
Because I could put a whole bunch of stuff just on the technology that we have now, and we're not flying to other planets.
Yeah, that's.
We couldn't even fly to the place where those bugs fuck if we wanted to.
Obviously, not enough space that he didn't have to erase the Hopper's help files earlier. Yeah. But there's only so many seasons of Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World that you can get, I guess. And maybe he doesn't have access to all of it.
I don't know.
He's this far out.
Yeah, maybe he needs to get the delta, what was released between and now. Yeah.
He needs to download that all.zip.
You keep dodging the bug fucking.
We're getting to it. It's coming up next. A threat starts heading towards the ship.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of our two-headed centipede things that were from the first ep? Or maybe second ep? Very early on.
Mm-hmm.
The one that chomped on our nice biologist.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets them all onto the ship. He gets a gun. He starts pointing the gun at the bug from inside the ship. I keep wondering, that doesn't seem like a good idea to shoot out from the inside of a ship towards something.
Well, he doesn't, though.
He doesn't.
Let's not damn him for
Maybe
something.
It was just a last. If the bug gets through,
yeah, I think that. Yeah,
that seems fair. And then another bug shows up at the front of the ship.
It kind of looks more like if Predator was a bug.
Yeah.
If Predator was instead of like a human type thing was like a bug.
They scream at it a little bit, they scream at each other for a little bit, and I assumed what I assumed you assumed, which is that they were going to battle it out.
I thought it was going to be a Phantom Menace thing. Where they get saved from the one bug by the bigger bug that comes in, and then they do that again, and it was stupid.
Then they do it again? Yeah, there's always a bigger fish. Why are they called fish in another galaxy? I thought that we were going to get something similar with, yes, this is the bigger creature, and they're going to fight. And they did start to do that, and I was like, oh, this is a really like King Kong situation where the bigger creatures are just kind of fighting and they just get to sit there. We see the sec unit kind of calculate, can the ship handle this much weight on top of him, of the hopper? And then we find out that they aren't fighting. They're doing some bug fucking.
Yeah.
Which involves the centipede-like creature circling around and around and around the other thing.
Like a swirl ice cream cone, yeah.
And then they just hump each other.
It was pretty hot, wasn't it?
It was slimy. It seems actually like it was probably a little cold, the two of them out there.
Well, they're on top of a space station, so the space thing. So
go to the spaceship for the warmth, which makes me think they're cold-blooded
so it
creatures,
was
like
hot, but when I said hot, I actually meant very sensual.
Like a sexy thing.
Yeah. Like boner-inducing.
My bug boner was rock hard.
Have you seen a hotter sex scene this week?
Between two bugs?
Just between anybody.
Period?
We don't have to...
I don't know if I've watched a sex scene this week, so that's number one.
So yeah, so it's number one.
Coming in.
Number one with the bullet.
Coming in at number one with a boner-shaped bullet.
There you go.
My one thought on that was that the ship is like rocking back and forth. And I'm trying to figure out with their alien anatomy how that was, like, why that would be the motion. Because it doesn't seem like it was like a... I mean, the one bug wraps around the other one, and then you're going to shake back and forth? It seems like it'd be more like a squeezing motion.
Even just putting it into kind of concepts that we have here on Earth, does a centipede have a penis? I don't think so, right? I don't think
so.
Vamp for a little minute.
So then they finally leave. One of them is the shortest haired of the scientists of the threesome. Actually, no, not the shortest hair.
No, there's a shorter hair.
Shortest of the threesome. Is very interested in this sexual tension that's happening on the top of the ship, and wants to basically record it. And then they eventually leave, and they leave behind a couple of nice little fish egg-like eggs glued to the side of the ship that clearly have little tadpole-type creatures in them. And then that's when the real fun happens, because they're discussing whether they should get rid of the eggs or not. And Secbot thinks it's probably best to get rid of them, but he doesn't mention it. And our doctor leader says, we can leave the eggs. Nothing wrong could go from leaving the eggs. Are you looking at centipede penises right now?
They don't have penises. They have what's called a gonopod.
Okay.
Okay, and it is basically a leg-like structure.
Okay.
But is used for insemination. So obviously, my first question was, I mean, my penis is kind of a leg-like structure too. I mean, I don't like what is that? What does that exactly mean? Right? And how does that? What is the difference between them?
This one doesn't need to fill with blood to like become.
So that's what a gonopod looks like right there.
Oh, they're showing. This is a way better photo of it. Oh yeah.
So describe. Tell me what you're looking at. Tell me
eighth leg pair.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a set of legs. It looks like the prong that would hold a diamond on a ring.
It looks like the Andor symbol a little bit.
It does have a little bit of that to it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like it has. Actually, it looks like the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
The Tower of Sauron, and that whatever that silver thing is, that reflection is the Eye of Sauron.
And in this picture, it looks like it's about, I don't know, half the length of their regular legs. Yeah. It looks like it's kind of sticking out like to their knee.
Would you be happy if your penis was half the length of one of your regular legs?
I think that'd be cumbersome.
It seems like this is tough too because it's on their belly, so they're dragging that around.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so we learned about that. They're arguing about taking these eggs down, and what happens?
They don't take the eggs down.
They don't.
The risk assessment issue was foreshadowing for this exact moment when it fails, or it is bypassed.
It's
I think.
0.
I think it
says this is when I learned that more advanced sec units
can
hack or block into my assessment.
So it's not necessarily that it failed; it's that it was effectively tampered with, and here comes another unit to attack our Murderbot.
And it kind of starts to beat the crap out of him.
It's winning. and everybody rushes to help the Murderbot. Very ineffective.
Our third wheel of the relationship throws a sword type thing that our new evil Secbot grabs and throws back at him. Our good Secbot shoots it out of the air, saving him.
And gets bonked.
He does get bonked
for his troubles, because he's got to turn around to shoot it, and the guy takes advantage and
then
gives him
one
a
of
little
the other
bonks.
scientists tries to throw a rock, which hits the good Sec unit instead of the other one. And then Sec unit pushes one of the fists of the advanced Sec unit into the eggs, and the Sec unit starts blasting those eggs off, and is about to, I assume, kill our good Sec unit when our hero, the centipede, emerges from under the ground. I assume they're goropods still engorged. Gonopods still engorged, and
I guess
eats the top half of the Sec unit, the bad Sec unit.
Not to be sexist, but wouldn't the centipede maybe be the motherly figure in this case?
I don't think so, because it did the wrapping. But you could be right.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like the wrapping seemed like a more aggressive male stereotypical activity in the sexual interaction between the two, but we don't know that.
But protecting your babies is typically a more
protection. That does seem like
motherly gesture in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Not in my household.
The centipede character, who, male or female, mother or father, comes out, fucks up our bad Sec unit by basically chomping him down to his shoulders, tears his head off.
That's
out.
2 gruesome head injuries in a row.
And proceeds to grab the second slug of baby eggs and carries it down into the hole with it. So it basically says, you don't deserve my babies. You're not taking good care of them. And that's when the episode ends.
That's going to be a mess of eggs. It's all goopy and it's going...
You got to carry it underground. It's just going to drag through the dirt.
There's this one time Anna decided to bathe our cat. When we first got Sasquatch, a real fluffy cat. This cat is dirty. I need to bathe this cat. Not intuiting that cats just bathe themselves.
They do that. They do tend to clean themselves.
And so she bathes Sasquatch, gets him all nice and clean. First thing he does is leaps down and climbs underneath the couch where we hadn't dusted under in a couple of years.
Every piece attached to him possible.
Exactly. I think that's going to be the egg sack. I think it's going to be a dirty egg sack.
I don't think we're going to get to find out.
No, probably not. I was listening to Mark Maron's WTF pod.
Mark Maron?
Yeah, you're familiar.
I am familiar. Was this his last one? Because he says he's retiring.
He's winding down. I think he ends in September or so of this calendar year. But Alexander Skarsgård was on it this week, which was kind of interesting. He talked a little bit about Murderbot. They went through his filmography, which I think we talked about, True Blood and The Northman, and I forgot he was in Infinity Pool. Cronenberg movie. He's in all of these movies where he's effectively kind of a dead, lifeless, sexy. He's never played a
shirtless guy to stare at in a chair.
Yes, who is always going to stare at you approximately like this.
Yeah.
He's never had a chance to play a comedic character like this, and he was talking about how much he's been enjoying that, and Maron was complimenting his comedic timing and saying he's really got a gift for it that nobody has been able to see before because he's taken all of these other roles. So it was pretty interesting to hear him talk about it. He says it's been a wonderful shooting experience, and
Seems like a fun crew to work for, and it seems like you'd be doing most of your days on the soundstage. So,
yeah, it was taped a couple months ago, I think. So there wasn't any talk about the end of the season, or they didn't get into the news. Do we say up front?
We have
the
not.
Big news?
There is a new ep. Just kidding. There's a new season.
Mm-hmm.
The second season has been greenlit at Apple. So cheers to that. Congrats. So this was episode 7. We got 3 more to go. Where do you rate that episode? I loved the last episode so much. Of the 7, I put this episode probably 4th.
4th, 5th. That sounds about right.
It was a good ep. We got a little bit of movement. This was all of a character development ep for both our Garathan and the Secbot. The Secbot is dealing with annoyance that he's never had to deal with before, because I think he kind of cares about these and he kind of wants to be part of this team, but they're also very annoying to be around. And he doesn't understand that because he's never had to be around people this much who care about his feelings and ask him questions about them.
So it was entertaining. I enjoyed the bugs. I enjoyed speculating about their
big bug fucking guy over here
genitals. I'll tell you my issue with placing it higher. I thought it was an entertaining episode. Let me say why I would not put it in my top half for sure. They were at the station.
Yeah.
They left the station because there's danger.
Yep.
They went and had a circle and talked about, can we trust the robot? And the robot says, are these people worth the annoying stuff that humans do? Which are all beats we've had in previous episodes. We didn't really get anywhere. We didn't resolve any of these. We didn't introduce any nuance to them. And then by the end of the episode, now they're going back to the base station. So from a character development, maybe we got a deepening of the existing themes. From a plot development, we really didn't functionally
We did not move forward in the plot. The only plot elements we learned, though, is we learned there's a new very advanced version of the Sec unit, which we already knew he was an older unit, but this one we have not seen before. That seemed very difficult to deal with and foreshadowed in the intro. Mm-hmm. And then we learned how they respond to a crisis, which I think this is the first time that the end of this episode was them taking control and going, we're going back because we need a med pod and one of us is in danger, and there's no negotiating on that. And I think that those are the two push. That's what we learned this episode. So yes, there's a little bit of character development in that. Yes, a lot of the Sec units character building was just kind of already addressed in other episodes. It just kind of further progressed that. But those are the 2 big ones. I think we learned about this weird robot, and we learned how they are going to deal with an actual crisis. Because we did see, we see the comical value of them the whole time, where they don't really know how to deal with anything. But this is the first time where they're just one of us is in trouble. We're as silly and ridiculous as we are, we do, we work hard and play hard, and now we have to work hard.
And I mean, you could sell me on the idea that you showed that at the beginning, where they're showing a deeper set of relationships than just these are a bunch of people on, crew together. They're talking about their shared past meaningful stories around that. But it was a little wheels turning to me. I still enjoyed it. I still laughed several times, but it was...
I think that first scene, the restaurant scene, what was key there is that Garathan feels like an outsider to the rest of the group. And the only one he really feels attached to is the doctor. Not that he doesn't want to be attached to other people, but he has a very different past life experience than everybody else there.
I think we knew that from the performance, though.
Yes, but this is that was the nuance of that. But my point is that is being the opener and the closer is the closer is that they all think of him as a crew member and just as important. So even though he doesn't see himself as that, the rest of them are showing that they do. He very much thinks he's just there because the doctor saved him, and he is tagging along as a puppy. And I don't think he, as much of a front as he puts on, I don't think he feels like he is an important crew member. And that, I think, is what's supposed to change with this episode, is that it's no, they all he didn't want to be a burden. He didn't want to have to go back to the the med bay because like, you know, he didn't want to be a burden on everybody. And
I hear you. I also think here we're bumping up against the runtime again because what you've just described I think is accurate, and I think it would have been a wonderful B plot line for an episode.
Sure.
I don't think it had to wait for the main thrust of the episode.
I think what we'll come back and find is that the big key thing is going to be these weird bugs at some point. Because the fact that they brought them back again, and they've talked about the data that they were gathering in the like blacked out area on these maps, I feel like these bugs are very key to something in the show. And so maybe the fact that they be bug fucking on top of the ship might come back.
Okay, so that begs the question, do centipedes have vaginas?
And next step, we'll discuss that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Stay gold.
Stay gold.